All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from Circuit World here in Blue Ridge. Beautiful Friday morning. It's All-Star Political Panel here with Jane, Rick, Candace, and Bruce. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. Some of the clown show is on a daily basis with the Democrat candidates coming out, and it looks like there's going to be a push, obviously really hard to the left, but Kamala Harris comes out and says, end all private insurance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
150,000 jobs, wasn't it?
Yeah, end all private insurance.
Everybody would need
500,000 just in the private insurance side. And what they're forgetting, a lot of Medicaid and Medicare is handled through private insurance companies. It's not, you know, the Center for Medicaid Services.
I can't believe that just, if she
dead.
Sticks with it, I can't believe it won't
She's
sink
already
her.
walked it back.
I'm thinking,
It already
who
did.
thinks,
I
who
think
thinks
she's
we can
toast.
pay, the country can pay for it? They cannot. And then in the small print it said, you're going to have longer waits.
Joe Biden and
About
Howard
3
Schultz.
months.
Okay, so, and then Elizabeth Warren with her
After tax?
ultra millionaire tax. They want to, I mean, I tell you what, they are pushing hard to the left, but healthcare will be something they really push. We'll see in this next election what they where it settles. But what say you? You think that the American people are going to vote somebody in that is
No. Having said that, I would really hope that the Republicans have something that they're working on behind the scenes that nobody's heard about yet, that addresses some of the Obamacare stuff, which will then bridge into this new issue about getting rid of everything. You just hope Rand Paul and some of the other smart ones are working on something.
Well, I kind of think the Republicans just totally blew their opportunity to do something with
I
healthcare.
agree.
John McCain.
No name.
Yes, but
Don't say his
I
name.
can't say that one thumbs down is what totally blew it. I mean,
His vote
Republicans
His vote would have pushed it over. So
push it over to what? What would we have
That's
got?
the
Then at
problem.
least they
Pushing it
can-
over to what? That's a key phrase.
you've
Right.
got to
Pushed
start
it-
with
yeah,
something
exactly.
before you can fix it. And there was nothing.
It'll go into a conference
don't
with the
forget-
House, which they had a majority at the time. So
We have
who knows?
Republican comms and socialists too. Don't forget that.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
what's keeping
I mean,
it
like
all
Paul Ryan,
murky
who
in there.
did nothing
there's
for
a
2
plan.
years.
There's an
McConnell is,
Who's an old frog?
oh, he must
Looks
be the
like
son
one.
of Ho Chi Minh or something. No, not him. Who?
There's a scraggly six.
Drink your coffee, lady. Drink your coffee.
There's the scraggly six that voted with
How
some of
about
the stuff for
Genghis
the
Khan?
Dems. Republican senators.
Hey, listen,
Collins,
I think
Murkowski,
Johnny
Johnny Isaacs.
Yes, that
He's
needs to
always
come
been a-
home. He needs
What's
my
with
He's
him?
God.
100 years
he
old, right?
needs
What
to
happened?
come home.
He's
Johnny
a go along to get along guy.
All
He's
right,
always
so-
What
been
about
that way.
Spartacus coming out this morning?
What did he say this morning?
Coming out.
Did he say
Coming
he's
out?
gonna
Like
run?
coming out?
Not that way.
Oh.
He announced he's running for president.
Oh
Formal
my
announcement.
gosh, Spartacus.
So there
I
is.
am Spartacus.
He's in. Spartacus moment. Yep.
Oh gosh.
Did a video on his. Did a video and came out this morning and said, "I'm going to be the first." No, that's going to be happen later. He's coming out as to run for president.
What about Howard Schultz?
You said coming out 4 times. I mean, if the people out there think you're trying to imply something, Rick,
I am.
Well, maybe if he comes out,
No,
it won't matter
that-
that he was groping.
the guy in Indiana. Where's he at?
Where's the
South Bend.
South Bend. That's the gay candidate.
He's the openly gay.
Openly gay candidate.
Yeah.
The mayor of South Bend.
He's already come out.
Yes.
Yes, he's been out.
Okay. All right.
In all respects.
What about Howard Schultz?
I'm
though,
just kind
running
of
as
working
an
around in a
independent?
circle.
Is that
Schultz
the
is
Starbucks
selling
guy?
books.
Who's the Starbucks guy?
That's him, Howard
Okay,
Schultz.
good. Just keep me,
But
keep
he's
me up.
selling
But he's
books.
been
He's on
so-
a book tour.
Yeah, but he's saying we can't pay for Medicare. She's
He
crazy.
was so
Well, that's-
hard left. He was such a
And the Dems have started to say, "Oh,
loved
we're going to
him.
boycott Starbucks."
But
But they loved him before.
Schultz said he'll decide after the book tour's over whether he's seriously going to jump in.
He
or
needs
not.
the money. He's got to just keep those books getting sold.
What about the president? Which this is on the long list of things why I just like the guy. Is I always say, what about him coming out this week and just saying, you know what, Paul Ryan stabbed him in the back?
Absolutely. I love
Paul
that.
Ryan.
Even though we've been saying it for how long?
Yeah. Everybody knew that. He wasted 2 years of Republican
I
majority
detest that
doing
man.
nothing.
I detest that man.
I do
And look
too.
how powerful Nancy polluted is, and he could have had.
He could have done the same thing.
He told Ryan said, if you sign this omnibus bill, I'll get your money, and he stabbed him in the back, and he just did, and I knew it. I knew Ryan stabbed him in the back.
I think the most outrageous thing, this doesn't have anything to do with candidates, and thank God she's not yet. AOC this week comes out with some kind of a total green initiative.
A new Green Deal.
A new Green Deal
And
to
she's
be
hooked up with
totally
Markey
free of
out of
fossil
Massachusetts.
fuel in 10 years,
12.
12 years.
We're gonna.
That's
The world
after
won't be
12
here.
years.
She
you'll
has
die.
absolutely no idea what that implies. That implies we're not going to have any aircraft. We're not going to have any cars. We're not going to have any trucks. We're not going to have any tractors. I mean, it's
You know
just...
what?
It's just because you have white
No,
privilege
these
that you
people
think
know
this way.
that.
Can't you
They're
see
just-
flying over the Pacific in an electric airplane, the lights
We could
flicker?
pedal. We could pedal,
I mean,
pedal,
really,
pedal.
just think about that.
They're playing to the uninformed. They are playing. They know all this.
Everybody's
Like
already
Gore
said that.
knows.
It's like,
They're just
ain't gonna
playing to
happen.
the.
I think that they're just
Dong.
making fun of her on
It's
these
just,
shows.
it's just absolutely ludicrous
Oh, that's a perfect word.
that they're even giving her space on the news.
Brian said it. Or maybe no, it was Rush Limbaugh that said that she's a media creation. They're building her up,
Right,
and they're going
exactly.
to smack her down.
Exactly. She is a creation, and that media does that.
She's scary.
I don't want to run out of time on some things. What about the Intel community this week? And Trump said go back to school. So
That was horrible what he did. Everything the president said, he contradicted him. Iran's not building a bomb. Well, everybody knows that they're building a bomb.
I just think the guy.
You're talking about Dan Coates?
Yeah, I think it's time that
He goes by that.
somebody actually does call out the intelligence community.
All 17 of them?
I think it's time that somebody actually lets them know that hey, I'll call you out. I don't care.
I don't know how you feel about Snowden, and I've gone this way, that way, but I listened to a 30-minute.
Lord Snowden?
No, the Lord of Sandwich. What were we talking about the other day? Snowden, about 30 minutes. It was in September of 17, I believe, and he was saying why he became a whistleblower. What is a whistleblower? And one of the main things he said, talking about Trump saying an emergency, Bush, he said he did anything he wanted to do. They knew they were going against the Constitution. They did not care. And he said there's a time when people who know this cannot sit. I knew my life would be absolutely turned upside down, but I had to do it. And I would
think
like
he's
to
a
think
hero.
I would be in the same mindset. I mean, he and Julian Assange, I mean, my God. But if you want to look at that interview, and he tells it just like it is and how they were, it's fascinating.
Did you ever think any of our citizens would seek asylum in Russia? When we were 10 years old, would you have thought, if
think
somebody
he
said
took it
that,
where we
you'd
could
be
get
like,
it.
no,
Yeah.
you're crazy. That's the most awful thing I've ever heard.
He said they are entities in our government that no one even knows about. The president has no clue. They're their own little, very powerful. That's where all the $1 trillion from the Pentagon is going into. These
Sleeper cells.
and he said it is so dangerous. And he says it, people hear it, and oh well.
Well, I think
That's
the president. I'm glad the president finally stepped up, and we have a president that will call out the intelligence community. I mean, I'm glad he does, and I think when he meets with them one-on-one, I think he lets them know that. I mean, behind closed doors. So now they came out today, and he says, "Hey, he's on the same page with them." All right, and I figured after his intel briefing with them, he'd come out and say that. But I'm glad he came out Okay, so
But you know, the media, the mainstream media, spends it as like, he's a brainless dunce. He's got no
Yeah,
plan.
Schumer says he needs to be schooled.
Yeah, I mean, and and that's
needs
in
to
the
be
news for 2 or
slapped.
3 days, and that's what a lot of
Schumer.
people think. Oh, there he goes again.
At the very least.
yeah, let's take Vietnam. Let's take Vietnam and CIA, and we don't have enough time to talk about what our intelligence community has done around the world.
Unbelievable.
Exactly. So what about Venezuela? They figured out, the media figured out there's a crisis in Venezuela.
Guaido.
Is that our new CIA propped up
Could be.
guy?
Could be the new Castro.
Well, he's better than Maduro.
Did you see Maduro out running with the troops, man? This guy's like
Yeah, he
300
did.
pounds.
I saw that.
And he's got all the
So what
jiggle
do you
wiggling.
what do you think we'll end up doing there?
I hope we just let them figure it out for themselves.
I don't see why we have to save everybody, even though I know that it's sad there. But we've got so many problems right here. We need to stay home for a while.
Well, we've been sold that Russia wants them, so if we don't do it, Russia will step in and do it.
China, too.
What about that plane that
Russia showed up with an empty plane and
went
home full of gold.
$800 million
From Iran?
right close.
No.
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
I mean, I'm in.
Gold bars. Russia showed up with a plane the other day.
We better get these out of here. Someone might.
And left with almost $1 billion
How
worth
did
of gold.
we find that?
Another plane's going to the UAE.
Where did
Russia
Right.
is hoarding the gold. Is going to be very.
They're getting their money out of
China's
there.
There
Yeah.
was a rumor
They're
that
getting the
Fort
gold.
Knox is empty back in
Yeah,
Obama's
there is a
presidency.
rumor. Yeah, there's tunnels underneath the J.P. Morgan.
So anyhow, I think it's going to cost us money
I mean,
as
you could
everything
go
else.
crazy.
What about the new caravans headed to the border?
Serious.
20,000 strong,
Serious. Serious.
Now they're climbing on semis this morning, heading to Texas.
Well, they've got rides. You know who's paying for that? It's got to be Soros.
Serious.
or
They said
some
every
Soros-backed.
state in Mexico pays for it, to go to the next state, and then that
Well,
state.
Tijuana has
to
dead
get 'em
bodies
out.
that they don't know what to do with because everybody
Yeah,
that's sick.
Tijuana, they're in a mess, and Trump is down there. We're sending another 2,600 troops.
Troops, yeah.
Yes.
3,000.
Is it 3,000? Another 3,000 to the border. Trump has highlighted the problem on the border. He just has, and I think the American people are behind him with that.
What about the fentanyl catch yesterday? 274 pounds?
Yes.
Enough to kill
Everybody in America.
54 million people.
Yeah.
What?
And that's a created crisis?
Right.
That's
That-
a manufactured crisis?
And that fact alone is we have a national emergency.
Largest fentanyl.
Largest, yeah.
Well, their
Ever.
argument is that because it came through the port of call, there's not a crisis.
Port of
We
entry.
don't have
It all
Yeah.
we don't
Right.
have a wall. But see, this guy had worked till he got safe status. He's like going through the toll gate with just a come on because he'd been okay for so many years or
Right.
months or whatever. So he brought it in under his floorboard.
Yeah,
Came in a produce
he did.
truck.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
All right, we've got, and I like to have, we've got 15 minutes or about 12 minutes, so a subject that maybe we haven't talked about, winners or losers, or what you have. You want to start, Bruce?
Yeah, just going back to what we were talking about before with the impact of the shutdown on federal employees. Just interesting statistic. In 1971, and this is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there were 19 million manufacturing jobs in the U.S., 3.1 million federal workers, federal employees. Jesus. In 2018, there's manufacturing down to 13.56 million. Federal workers, 22.65 million. 1 out of every 5 tax-paying people in this country works for the government.
Give me a break.
22.65 million.
Non-essential.
Think about that.
I'm with you.
And there's only 800,000 non-essential?
Only 800,000.
Yeah, where do you go with that? I mean, why do we need 22 million and 650,000 workers to make the government run?
Let me interrupt this, because we've been waiting, and I've been going back and forth. Now, supposedly, these job numbers were going to show the devastation of the government shutdown. That's all I heard.
Okay, everybody
At
hold
6
hands.
a.m. this morning, I'm listening to Joe and at CNN, and job numbers are coming out, and we will see the true devastation. Jobs blow out another 304,000 jobs.
Yay!
They predicted 165.
Labor force participation at Trump era, the highest ever, 304,000 new jobs.
Ooh,
So
that
much
was
for Joe.
And that was supposed to, this was supposed to be
The Fed's going to start doing rate increases again. Here we go.
And that's why they don't want the State of Union.
This
They
that
don't want
304,000 new
Man.
jobs created,
Put
and I
that
didn't
little
mean to
arrow in the
interrupt you, but
quiver.
I didn't mean to interrupt that, but I've been
No, that's
waiting
cool.
and waiting because the one reason I wanted to make sure we got this jobs report out as soon as possible for the viewers out there is I have been hearing that this number would show the devastation, how bad the shutdown affected job growth in this country. So
You think you'll hear something about that next Tuesday night?
You might.
we might.
I think so.
Candace, winners, losers, final topic.
Okay, I have a winner. The Border Patrol wives issue a formal proposal for Nancy Pelosi in a brutal letter. To sum it up, they invited her to the border. They told them they knew how to manage their own budget, that they had planned ahead for this. They didn't sign their children up for activities. They had saved money in case the government shut down. And this is the important part, they had a pair of big girl pants for her because obviously she didn't have any. They only have big girl pants, the Border Patrol wives, but she obviously doesn't know how to pull on her big girl panties and do things and doesn't think anyone else can. That's the winner.
They've been inviting her to the border. They want her to come to the border. She can't because she got those stiletto hills or whatever.
Yeah, she'd sink in the sand because they
And her
don't mow the grass.
$100,000 gold
Pearls.
finishing
Exactly.
pearl.
And I heard they said they'd even like get a plane for her if she couldn't
Yeah.
get a
Yeah,
government
they
plane.
would see. But supposedly,
I think she should ride one of those dadgum buses. All the
She should.
the one that she was sitting on waiting to go to the airport would be fine. That's a nice bus.
good.
And what else?
But she's the loser too because she's the one politician, according to an NBC poll, that lost popularity because of the shutdown. Because she showed
Bogus poll.
Well, it pained NBC greatly to have to say that, but yes, she did
BP.
lose popularity. So she's the loser. Border Patrol wives are the winner. Also, all of us have to manage our budget. We know what's coming up most of the time. We make arrangements for it. The government's the only one that doesn't have to manage a budget. They just spend whatever. What was it you said about arbitrary spending between the last of the fiscal year is like 300,000 or
Right.
something? You could just spend it for with no backup.
Well, Wilbur Ross, and this is just gets me with what the media does. All Wilbur Ross was saying is, let's say I have a government contract. Okay, I have a company, I've got a government contract, and I can't get the payout on that government contract till the new budget goes through. First of all, for the most part, you do not have a contract with the government that you've not already gone through due diligence for them. So you've already been vetted, you're probably bonded, you're probably even bonded, right? So for the most part, if you have any kind of federal contract at all as an independent, okay, you are financially viable to begin with. You have to do the paperwork, which you got to, right with me? So all Wilbur Ross is saying is you could take your contract over to your local banker and you should be able to get, an AR loan for 30 or 90 days, same as cash from your local banker. If you're waiting on receivables, you should be able to go over there and do it on right? That's all Wilbur Ross was saying, and they made so much fun of him. But you know what I'm saying?
But that's
Well, they
what-
brought it down to the individual level.
Yeah, they did.
said, like,
Right.
They
each
distort
family,
it.
how are they going to go out and get a
The great thing is everybody survived.
Oh yeah, we all
After Friday, everybody survived.
No, there's a measles outbreak.
Measles.
Soup lines
Rick.
closed, everything.
Winners, losers.
My winner is Florida Representative Matt Gaetz, who last night announced that he was going to introduce the Justice for All Act.
Yes, I saw that.
Justice for All Act means that we can't just put Republicans in jail for lying. We have to treat everybody equally, which means that maybe Hillary Comey,
McCabe.
Yates, McCabe, all of them who have lied to Congress, NSA, CIA, all lied to Congress.
IRS.
So that he's my winner. My loser are the two liberal black representatives from Georgia who are going to, once again, not show up for the State of the Union, and that would be John
Lewis and
John Lewis and
Hank.
Hank Johnson from the state of Georgia.
Right.
Those are my two losers, big time losers.
Yeah, those actually were my
I wish
old
they were
representatives.
actual losers in the when they run. Me? Moi? Well, as everyone knows, and if you don't, you're going to find out that we don't. Most of us don't collude before we get here. We have our own things, right? But I'll be darn it. I was going to say, I just have some questions. Why is it that these guys, I mean, we are simpatico.
Yeah, I know we are.
All right.
So why are these guys getting it for lying? I mean, simple lying when we got these guys that are walking around. I think that may come to
Complex
Jesus.
lying.
And I wonder how
Simplex and
Feinstein
duplex.
and Polluted and all those mega millionaires are reacting to AOC's and Pocahontas. Now they're saying Pocahontas. I love that.
I like
Russia's
Liawatha.
Pocahontas.
Liawatha.
Liawatha. Ooh, that's good too. How they're going to react to, I'm going to pay more taxes, because they went nuts when New York or California said you can't deduct this much on your homes, and you can't deduct it, and they went crazy. Feinstein, right? So those are my questions, and my question to you guys: do you think they're actually going to get away with it? Because the
You mean the liars?
the Clintons, and it's so blatant. It's everyone knows it. I mean, the Clinton Foundation is exposed, and they sit there. Do you think it's going to coast, or do you think they're going to get their own in the
They're
next
just
year?
desserts.
What do you
It
think?
depends what explosive events are in the news, that will overshadow that.
I think the clock is ticking on them.
Okay, good. I do too.
I think
hope
the
it
clock is ticking.
I hope it is.
And another thing that
In good time, as they say.
yeah, in good time, that people say is that it's going to be so shocking and so mega that the ordinary people, but some people, they just won't believe it and say this can't be. But I think it's ticking. You think it's ticking?
Hope so.
I hope so.
I think it
But
is.
I
What do
wouldn't
you-
be surprised
Do you
if
think
it
it's
didn't
ticking?
happen.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah, we're all hope springs eternal.
I'm hopeful. I just know the corruption side is
It's so obvious.
powerful.
You just
powerful.
think, how can it be that lopsided
deep.
and nothing's in the cooking pot over here?
I hope so. Folks, the left, okay, they're out. They want, if you have $10 million, they want to raise your taxes. I mean, they want to take the money from the rich again. That's out there.
Yeah, Bernie came out with something, the
Right.
state tax he wants to.
Right. So
Double it.
Yeah, they want to double the state. They
Well,
want.
you need
They
a
want
spouse
to do
that
this.
smells like his.
But the two leftists, Minka and Joe, okay,
The morning smoke.
they live in Connecticut, but not anymore. Not anymore. They don't live in Connecticut anymore. And I watch Morning Joe, and actually I don't blame them, but they're so hypocritical because they live in Florida now, and I think Florida, you have to live there 183 days. I think it's 183 days to be a resident. So Joe and Minka, if you ever watch in the morning, you will see the backdrop of the Capitol behind Joe, and you will see the backdrop of something else behind Minka, because they're actually doing the show from Florida. MSNBC told them that as long as the viewership didn't go down and it didn't hurt the show, they didn't mind. See, they're in Florida, which is okay because they save about $550,000 a year in taxes.
Yep.
Because they don't want to be in Connecticut. But I thought everything was great up there in the liberal Northeast. Okay?
Same thing that Rush did.
I agree. I don't blame them.
No.
Other than Rush will tell you.
But they're hypocritical
That's
in
why.
the way that they approach
Yeah,
it.
Rush just
Right.
says that's why I
Rush
went
just
there.
said, I'm tired of fighting the IRS. I'm going to Florida.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
What's
but
not to understand?
I think that's so hypocritical of Minka and Joe. The other thing is the shutdown did happen. We did discuss that. I think the State of the Union address will be awesome. I think the guy will knock it out of the park. I think it'll be great. I hope that this Sunday CBS gives him the same as CBS got the Super Bowl this year.
Yes.
I hope that CBS gives the president the same time that they always give the president. Usually a Super Bowl Sunday, the president gets a national platform and they interview him like they do Obama and they did George W. So I hope CBS...
He's not going to be at the game.
Yes. No, he's not going to be at the game.
I hope not.
But
I'm
pretty sure they
in
will,
danger.
but I hope they give him a chance to,
No, that's already in the works, and that's
Right.
the other thing that I was concerned about. If the shutdown continued,
Right.
he would have to be on the defensive mode the entire time, defending everything that cratered the Super Bowl.
That's
Right.
brilliant. The plan was
Yeah.
brilliant.
So anyhow, I think that CBS this weekend, I think he's going to do a good job there. He's going to get to talk to the American people. I think he's going to do a good job at the State of the Union. If you noticed, every Congress, when it ends, you have to resubmit your judges. So if your judges have not gone through confirmation, when you seat a new Congress, you just have to. It's just a formality. You have to.
I didn't know that.
You have to resubmit your judges. Okay. They are going through the roof. The left coast is going through the roof because that ninth circuit.
Packing the ninth.
He is packing the Ninth Circuit with conservative judges, and they are freaking out. A lot of people don't realize that when you have a circuit, you have another layer under that. Okay, that you have. So there's a lot of judges in a circuit. And Trump is really making some big, strong moves in that Ninth Circuit.
Necessary.
And Dianne Feinstein is going crazy over it.
What they're mad about, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is in the past they've kind of gotten a little bit of push, been able to give their input into the judges.
Yeah, they're supposed to work with the senators from California.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Kamala
You hit the nail on the
Frankenstein.
head. Here's what he hit the nail on the head. Here's what I'm glad you said that because
perfect.
Rick's 100% right. What they used to do, it used to be just a formality is your senator would come up, both senators would come up and say,
Here's the list.
here's our list.
How do you like it?
You would just give them their right, and he's not doing that.
No.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if they even gave him a list.
He did for a while. He did for a while. He sort of opened the door a bit, and then he brought these conservatives back in and said,
guys, always appreciate you. We got into a lot of topics today. It's always great. There's never enough time. The star of the show has arrived from the Humane Society of Blue
Look at that
Ridge.
little baby.
So we've got our star of the show.
brown patch.
And again, thank each and every one of you here today. We're going to take a brief break, and we're going to wrap up our day with the Humane Society of Blue Ridge, our pet of the week.